I'm watching that game last night, and it's the Washington Commanders, such a horrible name, versus the Chicago Bears. Now, look, I'm not here to cape up for Justin Fields. I don't even know. I don't even know if he's going to be good or not. All right, I really don't. I don't really love his throwing motion. I don't love his pocket presence in the terms of
holds onto the ball way too long. Way too long.
You can say hold on to it. I think what he does that really drives me crazy is that instead of stepping up in the pocket and keeping his eyes downfield,
runs backwards.
He spins out and turns his back to all the receivers that are running. Do I think he has great personnel? No. Do I think that the organization is a dud? Yes.
Right.
Do I think that the coach is defensive-minded and probably doesn't know a whole lot about offense? Yeah, sure. My bigger thing is this. I feel like we refuse to allow the development of quarterbacks anymore. I look at the NBA, for example. So much of the NBA, because of how raw and how young these guys are, is let's get a guy in here and we're going to let him develop. Either he's going to develop on the floor and we're going to see where it goes from here, or, he's going to sit in the background and we're going to develop him through our G League and in practice and whatever, and we're going to ease him in. And so now you see teams like Oklahoma City, they've got a bunch of 21-year-olds and they're kind of learning how to play on the fly. I feel like the same thing is happening in the NFL at quarterback, and the reason why, the offenses in college that I watch on Saturday,
you're starting to see it in the NFL.
But they're so watered down now, right? So many times the quarterbacks, for example, Clemson's offense for Trevor Lawrence.
Look back at the coaches at the line of scrimmage before the play snap. They all look over to see what the signals are.
It's 5 wide.
And they've been doing that for years.
I know, but it's 5 wide, and we all look to the right, like you're saying, and it's all slants.
Oklahoma did it for a long time. A lot of teams do it in college, and they've been doing it for a while.
And look, I don't even know. I don't even like Justin Fields' throwing motion. I think he kind of throws it kind of goofy. But anyway, my bigger take is that we won't even allow a guy to kind of work through some things. I mean, we saw this with Trey Lance, right? And it was hyper sped up because they have to win now. And I get all that. Steve Young. Everybody loves Steve Young. He didn't become the 49er starter, and there's a lot of reasons why, until he was 29 years old. Warren Moon didn't get a chance to start for his first year in the NFL until he was 28 years old.
28.
Now, I know Geno Smith is having a resurgence right now, and I'm rooting for him, actually. Even though I can't stand the Seahawks, I'm legitimately rooting for the guy. I just feel like everybody's ready to dump on all these young players, and we won't allow anyone an opportunity to develop. We just saw this in basketball with Jordan Poole. We're seeing it now with Wiseman, where it's like, 2 years later? Damn, he's going to be a problem, right? He is going to be a problem. And I get it. Everybody wants to win the Super Bowl every year. You're not the Chiefs. The Chiefs are an outlier. All right, they are a unicorn.
Let me jump in here with Justin Fields.
Hop on in.
Because 14 to 27 yesterday, 190 yards. He ran for another 88. He looked like the better quarterback. As much as he was getting crushed on social media yesterday, he was a superior quarterback. Did anybody watch Carson Wentz? Baldy on Twitter, Brian Baldinger was asking for Tyler Heineke. He was like, we may need to bitch this dude, Carson Wentz, because he's getting gun shy. And he's a veteran.
Yeah.
He's been in the league for a while now, 6 years? He's same draft class as Jared Goff. Justin Fields, as young as he is, because, look, one thing he does is he takes a lot of punishment.
Oh, too much.
He does not protect himself whatsoever. He's not going to last in this league playing football like that. His long release, the same thing I saw at Ohio State, takes so long to get the ball out. He waits.
He's not
accurate. You saw the graphic yesterday that said the Bears give him over 3 seconds of pass protection. It's the best in the league. He has time to throw. Now, on the flip side, you could say, well, Mooney's his leading receiver.
I mean, that guy stinks.
Dante Pettis is on the field for multiple snaps. We all know about Dante Pettis.
Second touchdown.
So I want to give, up to your point, I would love to give Justin Fields a couple more years before we see what's what. Josh Allen, were we ready to give up on him after year 1, year 2? Now look at him. Everybody's like, he's the best player in the league. Best player in the league.
Well, and
his first 2 years, he struggled.
I mean, and the funny thing is, and I always come back to this, I was talking up Josh Allen, and even after the rookie year, B, I was like this biggest fan in college. No one else watched Wyoming. I'm telling you, because I tweeted about it a lot. I watched him his first year. I'm like, maybe I was wrong, But then what they do, B, they went out and made a bold trade for Diggs, and he developed. You have to give him credit. But they also surrounded him with better personnel.
No doubt.
Right? And so I don't know if Fields is going to be good. I really don't know. If you had asked me to bet today, he's probably going to not be a successful quarterback.
Who knows?
Because
not
I
that
bet
situation.
That's what I'm saying. I bet against that situation. But let's just say he lands with Andy Reid, right? And this hypothetical. I would probably think he's going to be a lot more successful than he is with the Chicago Bears.
Maybe.
Your
Yep.
setting makes a lot. Like right now, I feel better about Trevor Lawrence because he's with Doug Peterson, because I think Doug Peterson isn't as incompetent as Urban Meyer.
Doug Peterson had Carson Wentz rolling on the way to an MVP award before he got hurt.
Exactly.
So,
and I'm not saying you got to wait 10 years. No one's saying that. But what I'm saying is my God.
The patience in sports,
We're just
not
but
there.
It's not even the fans. I actually think it's the people covering the sport.
Yeah, I think it's both.
Are amplifying the voice,
Yeah,
and then the fans feel like they need to pile back on.
I
What did Bears fans think was going to happen?
do,
He was going to
listen.
come in and light the world on fire?
Listen.
They might have the worst offensive personnel in the league.
No, they do. They do.
Like you play fantasy. Is there one fantasy player you're playing on the Bears?
I played Komet yesterday, tight end, because all my tight ends are in the bye week. He got one catch for 15 yards, so there's that.
You're in a, 12, 14-man league?
Yeah, exactly.
No one's starting Komet in a 10-man league.
But to your point about development and patience and all that stuff, it doesn't exist. Think about James Wiseman.
Thank you.
Think about Kuminga, Moody.
Are the people who wanted to ship James Wiseman out 2 years ago for the kid Miles Turner? Okay, how are you feeling this morning after seeing just a little in preseason?
Probably foolish. But you know what? We get things all around, and I don't want to crush them. But
I'm just saying, patience.
To the thing about media and fans, we all do it.
No,
We're all in
I'm
one
guilty.
Pot.
We're
all in one pot. I like this whole separation.
I was ready to crush Joey Bart.
One thing that I'm getting annoyed of, and I was telling Matt Nahegan this yesterday. I'm getting so annoyed with we're all one-sided. Oh, the fans don't like them. The fans this. It's all one-sided. Or the media this, and the media's amplifying the voices. The media this, and the media that. Well, it all works hand to hand. Think about the Russell Westbrook video that's circulating around the country about him not being in the pregame huddle.
Yeah.
That wasn't a media member that posted that.
No,
that was a fan.
Yeah.
That was a fan, and people took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
So it works. Did
That's a
Jimmy
good point.
Garoppolo lip reading?
Yeah.
That was a fan that saw that video and posted that, not a media member. So we keep pointing our finger. Oh, it's the media. No, the fans have something to do with it too.
Well, look, think about the two players on the 49ers right now that a lot of people think are very good players. Eric Armstead and Jimmy Ward. If you would have asked me after 3 years, I'd say both are not NFL player starters. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, no doubt.
I was like, what position is Armstead? What position is Jimmy Ward?
I thought I was done with him. And then 2019, he was, Jimmy Ward. Oh, yeah, he's a good player.
And I'm not here to say those are Hall of Fame. No. And I guess my greater point is like, shame on us. Again, this is like the fifth time I've said this on the Trey Lance thing. We couldn't even give him 5 quarters.
Right.
He couldn't even give 5 quarters before everyone and their moms was ready to throw him out with the bathwater.
Right. Nah, he looked bad. I mean, he didn't look bad, but like the coverage was bad. The coverage, he didn't get a shot.
No.
He didn't get a shot. So
I'm going to try to be more patient is kind of what I'm going at. I'm going to try to be more patient in general. And I just think that we're way too hard on these young guys.
Look at Andrew Wiggins. How many left him for dead?
That's a great point.
Now he's about to break the bank.
That's a great
And he's
point.
coming off his greatest season, and we're saying the Warriors don't win a championship without him.
That's a great point.
All of a sudden, he went from, this guy doesn't work hard.
Oh, he's
a bum.
Yeah.
To, hey, go guard Luka Doncic in the Western Conference Finals. Hey, we need you to guard Jason Tatum in the NBA Finals and snuff him. And what did he do? He snuffed him out. So that's just the way sports is. We're not patient at all.
But like for every Luka or Patrick Mahomes, guys who step in and instantly are going to elevate the entire franchise and can win and those are outliers.
Right.
The majority of guys take time, and I just think like we're just not paying. And again, I admit I raise my hand. I'm one of the more guilty.
Justin Fields. Justin Fields, he had some good plays
He
yesterday.
might stink.
He broke
I don't
down.
know.
I don't know. Look, the Bears were 1 yard away from being 3-3. I'm convinced they would have been the worst 3-3 team in NFL history. Seriously, I still can't believe the 49ers lost to that football team. That's one thing that drives me crazy.
You know what? One thing I will say before we're going to go to break. I'm glad they chose Trey Lance as opposed to Justin Fields. And Trey might stink too. Time will tell. Trey steps up in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and looks to throw. And I feel like he's got a better idea of how to play quarterback long term, at least thus far, than Justin Fields.
What does Justin Fields do great?
He moves around.
That's about it, right?
Yeah, he takes shots.
I watched him. I went down to that game.
Yeah.
Clemson, Ohio State, Glendale, Arizona, J.K. Dobbins. And I came away from that. Kyle Batson knows because I've talked about this game forever. And I was just like, I'm not in on Justin Fields after that game. I texted him immediately. I'm not in on Justin Fields. I watched, he threw the game-winning interception, just didn't see it. Guys running wide open, Olave, and he throws a pick to the free safety.
Mm-hmm.